Hello and welcome to NJBIZ Conversations. I'm your host, Jeff Kanige. My guests today are Jonathan Goodman. He is the founder and CEO of Halyard Consulting in Jersey City, and Dr. Floyd Jeter, who is the Chief Diversity Officer for the city and a candidate for an at-large seat on the City Council. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you so much.
And I'm sure our viewers, regular viewers of this piece, are wondering exactly what it is this grouping is going to talk about. And a lot of it is going to be artificial intelligence. But I want to start by first, because Jonathan, your firm, you and your firm are working on Dr. Jeter's campaign. So let me ask the two of you how you got together and how you're working together. I'll start with Jonathan. How did you end up getting involved in politics?
That's a great question. So first of all, I'm personally involved. My company isn't
Okay.
involved, but I am a volunteer on the Dr. Jeter campaign. Dr. Jeter and I have attended many of the small business product projects that he has been involved in, and we recently met up at a networking event, and he told me that he was running on the on Joyce Waterman's
Right.
team for
Take out the president, right?
council at large. And I said, I'd love to volunteer and help.
Okay. And Dr. Jeter, how did you end up hooking up with with Halyard Consulting and Jonathan? Not the. I'm sorry. I realize it's not the firm. It's Jonathan doing in his personal capacity. How did you end up finding him? We seem to have lost Dr. Jeter. Can you hear us? There we go.
It's organic the way that Jonathan happened to me. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
It's okay how me and Jonathan met. We met organically. We were in the room, and it was like his energy. And talking about AI, I've been fascinated with AI since it came out. And when he said that, I kind of talked to him like a kid in a candy store. I was like, "Listen, what is this? What is that? How do you do this? How do you get these things done?" And he was like, "Well, this, and that." And by him volunteering, he actually helped me locate Jersey City, some pockets through AI where I should be focusing where will be my greatest asset at as far as using AI. So that has been a life, at least giving me some insight to the place that I don't know or existed. So I thank him for that.
Okay, very good. And I should have mentioned at the outset that Jonathan, your firm does work with public agencies and other institutions, talking about how to use AI. Have I got that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're familiar with public policy, public agencies. I think most business people that I've talked to, business owners, executives, understand that AI can analyze and synthesize huge amounts of data more quickly than humans. Is that the capability that you're talking about, what you're using here?
Yes, that's exactly what I did. So I did a FOIA request for information on continual voters. So voters who have voted in a majority of the elections that have happened over the last 10 years.
Okay.
When I received that data, I was then able to import that into ChatGPT and have it analyze for exactly the locations, the areas where most people vote, right? So I can bring up a little image and I can show you if I'm able to share, if that's possible. I can show you.
Try, yeah.
Okay, let's try that. Let's see. Are you able to see this now?
I can see it, yes.
Fantastic. So this is
Yes.
the Google map of Ward A. Ward A takes up a larger space than what you're seeing in the orange. The orange is specific to communities that always vote. So as you can see, Jersey City is a very large space. This is just Ward A, and we are able to show where we need to pinpoint our activism, our canvassing in order for people to know that we're on the ballot and that Dr. Jeter's on the ballot and that, where we can go and talk to people about voting for him.
Okay. All right, and Dr. Jeter, I mean, I know you mentioned you were interested in AI from the very beginning. Have you ever seen this kind of thing in action? Have you ever used anything like any of these tools before?
Chat GBT I know about very
Okay.
little. And when I say very little, I just put in something to get it out. But with Jonathan, I've learned so much more. But what I've learned also is the specifics, asking questions that you normally won't ask for an AI unit and getting
Okay.
that feedback. When he showed me that map, I was blown away. I was like, oh, okay. And then I think it goes down, even drills down a little further into like a block, a street. And then but then you have a walking map that is provided for you as well. So you have names. So now if you're merging that together with AI and regular information, you become more specific and targeted and strategic in what you're doing as far as a campaign in my point, because I've never ran a campaign. So this is new. So any tools
Okay.
that I was able to use and utilize, I've done that through
Okay.
Jonathan and AI.
Okay. Jonathan, I'm glad you started with canvassing, because that's where I was going to begin and talking about how you're using this. You mentioned identifying voters, and Dr. Jeter just said, what kind of questions to ask. So you're not just, as what I'm hearing here, is you're not just identifying the voters that you need to talk to, you're also identifying what you need to talk to them about. If I got that right?
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
So, first of all, we are not collecting individual names. We are,
Okay.
that is not provided to us in the FOIA request.
Okay.
So, what we're doing is really, putting those resources into ChatGPT and then saying, here's the map. Go and find, since there are addresses, we're able to see the locations. And I'm just going to share with you again another kind of, a drill down view of what this looks like. So this is probably a much clearer image for people to understand. So here we are, and we can see exactly the streets where people vote, right? So we have Van Nordstrom, we have Wade Street, we have certain portions near Bayside Park, and these are where we're able to capture the information so that our canvassing team isn't wasting time going on, let's say, this Danforth, right? Going up and down Danforth. Danforth is a highly trafficked street, but clearly people don't actually vote who live on
Okay.
that street.
Okay. All right. All right. So how does it does all right? So it tells you where to go, even if you don't have the name. So you know the areas that you need to hit. Again, I'm just curious as does this help you identifying issues that you need to that you need to address? I suppose
No.
would it be connected to where they are, for example?
Right. So
Oh,
so no, but it does show us who has voted democratically
Okay.
before.
Okay.
So yes, in terms of issues, those are compiled in other ways,
Okay.
right? So we have media outlets that are focused on information that Jersey City voters are particularly interested in, and we follow those trends. I receive actually 3 times a day alerts on any of our opponents posting on social media or getting articles about themselves, and so that allows us to see what they're talking about, so that when we go back in and talk about this strategically, we are able to write articles. Dr. Jeter is able to do podcasts on his website that I've built, so that he's talking about those things that the opponents are talking about as well.
Okay. All right.
and also, Jeffrey,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Go
wanted
ahead.
to add that to you too, Jonathan. What we've done is when I'm at the meet and greets, we got a index card and we're asking for top 3 reasons or things that the voters want. And that helps us kind of formulate those podcasts or those little things that we put on the website. So we're addressing everything that they're saying,
Okay.
and we're giving them some tools and support of what we're doing and the things that we're going to implement.
Okay. All right. I also understand that you're using this for fundraising. How does that work, Jonathan?
So, in terms of fundraising, we're able to, in previous fundraisers, we're able to track and kind of correlate the people that are attending those fundraisers for the Waterman team. And so then we're able to do outreach utilizing ChatGPT, talking about what was discussed at the fundraisers and then reminding people of our follow-up fundraisers that are coming up.
Okay, so again, you're using that sort of ability to analyze a huge amount of information. That's interesting. Okay,
Yes.
So Dr. Jeter, how's this going? I mean, has this helped your campaign? Do you think was this a worthwhile project?
Yes, it was definitely a worthwhile project because what we can't do, what I've learned is that technology is ever evolving, and if you don't get along with it, you're gonna miss some real key parts. So what we've
Indeed.
been doing is I've been gathering this, and I'm loving it because it has gotten me out of a comfort zone. It has got me out of like a bubble, and I'm like welcoming it. And I've also talked to my grandkids about it because now I can have those conversations with them about it. So I'm almost a current grandfather. Like, I could have the conversation. So it makes me relevant in today's society, but especially with the younger voters who look at AI and look at the evolving of the campaign. But this helps us draw in that crowd, which is normally not a crowd we look at.
Right. Okay. Well,
Jeffrey,
yeah, go ahead.
And Jeffrey, let me just remind everybody that Jersey City has 15 people that are running for this council at large position.
Right.
And so statistically, it's improbable that anyone will receive 51.2% in order to win their space. So what's going to happen is November 4th, there's going to be the top 6 ranking. And that's what we're really trying to do is get Dr. Jeter into the top 6. And then we have another push in December for the final election. So I'm not sure if that's how all counties work, but that's how Jersey City is running for this camp.
I get it. That's typical. Okay, Dr. Jeter, it's interesting that you sort of anticipated the next question I was going to ask was whether this experience has changed your view of AI at all, and whether you think you can see other applications in your work. You started to say that it makes you sort of more hip, as it were. But how does it change your attitude toward technology and toward AI in general?
It has changed my attitude, but because I'm also a professor at NJCU, so what I've been able to do is talk to my students, and now I'm gathering stuff and putting it in Chat GPT and looking at most of the questions that are giving them harder time, and I'm trying to analyze it so that I can now teach to that. So what I'm going to do, build curriculum. Some of my curriculum will be built based on AI information that I've received from the students, now input with Jonathan's help, of course. And now I can start teaching and be more relevant. Be more relevant to what they're asking. So I don't miss them and they don't miss out on valuable information. So this is definitely going to be a tool for me from now into the future.
Okay. And Jonathan, what I hear a lot from businesses, owners and executives, especially smaller businesses without a lot of resources, is they know that they believe they need to work with AI. What you've said, I've read some of what you've said, is that this kind of project shows that a small team with limited resources can use AI to a certain extent to their advantage. So I guess I'm asking, the question is, is there a lesson here for businesses, for executives, for business owners of smaller businesses, maybe that don't have unlimited resources, that AI is something that they should be looking into?
Thank you for that question, Jeff. This has been such an incredible learning experience. First, dealing with this campaign and then really communicating to small businesses. In fact, we just launched for Q4 our AI strategy 10-pack, because what we realized is, yes, we work with the government. Yes, we work with mid-sized businesses. But what we really love is working with small businesses.
Okay.
And so we created this $500 10-session working with me, and we build within ChatGPT, we build a project that we then build a knowledge base. So we ask the client, once they've signed up for us, that you provide the business plans, certifications, case studies, client lists, all that information that acts as the brain. And then we have these one-on-one sessions when we talk about your business and how to improve it. And at the end of every session, we provide a 30, 60, 90-day plan. And that has revolutionized small businesses. And, because at the larger end, at the larger scale, they're hiring the Deloittes and the large consulting, but ChatGPT and AIs and LLMs are really meant for small businesses. Small businesses are going to be able to do so much more with the limited number of people that they have on staff. Either they're solo entrepreneurs or smaller businesses, and they need all of this understanding to be able to run faster than they're walking now.
Right. It's interesting because a lot of what I hear is a lot of business owners, small business owners, hear AI and they think that it's only for large businesses. That's obviously not true. Are there certain kinds of businesses, sectors, industries where you think this is particularly relevant, or is it across the board?
I think it goes across the board for solo entrepreneurs. And, for us, we're really focused on teams of under 5 and solo entrepreneurs because we know that, there are so many people running around saying they're coaches, right? We're not coaches, we're consultants. But we wanted to price it at a point where a average, business, a pizza store, or all the way up to, a nursery, a children's nursery, a floral store, right? That they can, in conversation, understand how to run their businesses better and hopefully inspire them to actually use AI for a lot of, look, I mean, Jeff, sitting there and trying to type out multi-paragraph response to somebody because you want to get your point across can take 15, 20, 30 minutes. Now you put your ideas, your basic ideas into ChatGPT. You have had that conversation with that client, several times. You're recording everything. When you're having these conversations, you pour that into that chat, and the chat understands what's going on. The AI understands, and then they're able to produce an email that is far better. Look, even in our correspondence, right? You were actually reading my AI written emails, but they came across wonderful compared to how I can write, right? I'm not a great writer. And I would probably, type something out that would be like, hey, Jeff, what are you doing? Well, let's get this stuff done. But instead it comes across and it says, this is the right way to approach Jeff, right? This is the right way to kind of move forward in this conversation. And so it's been revolutionary for me personally. And I think it's revolutionary for all small businesses.
Okay. All right. Before I let you go, I'd like to hear a little bit about each of you. First of all, start Dr. Jeter. How's the campaign going? What are you hearing from voters about what they're concerned about? What do you talk about? And what do you think are the biggest issues that you're dealing with?
Well, from the voters, a lot of them talking about affordability, real affordability, not some base number that they get out of the state, some real hard numbers based on people's income. That's real affordability. The base rent, $1,800 for a studio, is ridiculous for people who only making $38,000 a year. They're talking about childcare is a big push as well. Also crime. But the one thing that I've looked at in every area, either Greenville, downtown Heights, everybody wants a recreational center. They're saying that the kids don't have nowhere to go, and they have this asset energy that's going on. And I grew up, we had an open gym. We played tops. We were outside more than we were inside. Now, as a young person, you got to build up steam. You got to get them tired so when they come home, they eat and go to sleep. Right now, it's just too much idle time. And we know the idle mind is a devil's playground. So what we got to do is get more interactive. But also, they're saying that they just want more programs to help kids grow. Workforce programs, just making sure that everybody's not going to go to college. So they're looking at a bigger picture now. But they also looking at, and the biggest thing, and I think I talked to Jonathan about, a lot of people want to come from a renter mentality to an ownership of a home. And that's one of the biggest push. So we need a real program to get them from a rentership to ownership, because people take more pride when they own something as opposed to rent it. And all of that stuff. And it's like, I live in Jersey City, born and raised in Jersey City. I've never left. I got all my formal education in Jersey City. So Jersey City, in other words, is in my DNA. I'm not going nowhere. But what it is as a professor at NJCU, as a city as a city employee. I'm always pushing Jersey City, but I'm always asking, how do we get better? How do we be more inclusive as opposed to exclusive? And that's my biggest push. It's not just a cute word, diversity and inclusion. I've really lived this because as a lived through experiences from corporate America, I've always been the person that say, how do I incorporate? Look at me and Jonathan and our wildest dreams. We would have never thought that me and him would have formed such a bond where I can depend on him. And I want to say this about Jonathan and AI. It has given me a new understanding on what needs to be done, but also it has to be given to you. And I said in a class with Jonathan, he made me understand it better. And that's where AI probably will be understood better if it's coming from a person that has the heart behind it and know how to talk to you. Because like anything, we're going to resist. I don't care who you are, there's going to be some resistance. But if you make people feel better about it, if you incorporate them and you tell them the benefits, like Jonathan said, write an email, formulating your ideas, getting your point across, making sure that everything you want to get across is direct. I should have had that today, so I could have spoke to you about that. But in general, I enjoy you. But I want to say, Jeffrey, I appreciate you incorporating me in this, and Jonathan, you as well, because we need to know that campaigns are not ran just by old means. We have to have technology, but we have to experience more technology, but we have to incorporate it where people are not afraid of it, but embrace it.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. And Jonathan, that's a great testimonial. Tell me a little bit about your firm. Where did it come from and where do you hope to take it?
I certainly appreciate that, Dr. Jeter. Dr. Jeter and I are really inseparable at this point. We are, I am so thrilled that he is running. I think he's the best candidate out there. And I appreciate the question, Jeffrey. So Halyard Consulting has been around for 15 years. We started off as a website design development company. And 3 years ago, we switched over to AI. Some of our clients, we still do the SEO and the website, but we really are focused on moving people forward on the AI side. I have an MBA from Fairleigh Dickinson. I love Fairleigh Dickinson, a Master's of Science in Computer Science from College in New Rochelle, and an undergraduate from Ringling College of Art and Design. And so I have always rode the wave of technology. I started my career in the pre.com to .com, and then worked in Whippany for a while and built out e-commerce systems for a company, and then built out Halyard Consulting. And so very excited about the changes in technology and what is coming down the pike.
Okay, very good. We will leave it there, but I hope you'll come back. We'll be watching the election. I hope you come back after no matter what the result is, and tell us how it went and what you learned. Jonathan Goodman, Halyard Consulting, Floyd Jeter of Jersey City, and Chief Diversity Officer and a candidate for City Council. Thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and we would love to come back.
Okay, and thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.